Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing my 4-week update on my GLP1 weight loss journey. It is a fun update today for you guys. It wasn't so fun for me because I did a dose jump in this last 2 weeks and I regret it. I wish I didn't. So I'm going to tell you guys what my full first month from starting weight to finishing weight has been on Ozempic. I'm on classic Ozempic. And for the first 3 weeks, I was on 0.25 milligrams. And in the last week, we jumped up to 0.5 milligrams. And I had some very different experiences this past week than I have had the first 3 weeks. So we're going to get into all of that fun stuff in today's video. I'm also going to be posting a little bit more on TikTok from like the day-to-day of what I'm going through, what I'm eating. It's just helpful to see what other people are eating on it. So I'll post a little bit more. I always post on my Instagram stories what I'm eating too, but I think I prefer to post on TikTok for this kind of thing. So if you're interested, please follow along. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get right into today's video. I have a very exciting update today. I don't know if it's that exciting. It's exciting to me. And I'm hoping that my sound quality is a little bit better. I have a little microphone on. So if you're wondering what that is, it's not like a tarantula. It kind of looks like one, but it's not. It's just my little microphone. So I officially hit 4 full weeks on GLP1. I'm on like classic Ozempic. And I wanted to talk about the past 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I've done an update. I got my 5th shot today. And it's been a very interesting last 2 weeks, to say the least. So really quickly, I'm going to check in and give you guys an update of where we ended off last. I got one of these little just calendar planner things from Target, and it's just the month. And I figured each shot day, I would write like the shot number, the dosage, and what my weight was at that check-in. It's at my doctor's office early in the morning, like before work. So it's kind of, I would say, really reliable. It's not like I'm weighing myself in the morning versus 1 week at night. So this is pretty vulnerable. I'm going to read it off to you guys. So I got my first shot on July 2nd. My dose was 0.25. I think that's milligrams. I don't really know. My starting weight was 186 pounds. And be nice, because that was only 4 weeks ago. So it's not that different. And my pre-pregnancy weight, I'm 5'8", so 155 pounds is like very comfortable for me. I think that's when I look healthy and not thin, but like, you know, that's where I'm comfortable. So shot 2, I was on the same dose, 0.25, and I weighed in at 181 pounds. It was down 5 pounds in that first week, which was pretty good. I was also eating really clean, really healthy. I wasn't having any crazy side effects yet. It was really just that I had like a pretty bad headache the day after the shot. I was pretty tired, but nothing that like was crazy or that I wasn't expecting. Week 3, I weighed in at 179 pounds. So I was down another 2 pounds. And my dose that day was still 0.25 milligrams for the next week. So in week 3, that was when I gave my last update, was like the day I got the shot, or the day before I got the shot of week 3, I think, right? Because I did it like every 2 weeks. I don't know. My goal is to do these updates every 2 weeks. So hopefully my last one was 2 weeks ago. So I weighed in at 179, shot 3, went back a week later, and I went up to 180 pounds. So I gained a pound, which I've also been doing Pilates 5 days a week. Not this past week. I haven't been once, and I'll get to that in a second. But I've had a pretty good energy level and mood. Like nothing has changed there. I would say just like a headache on shot day is kind of normal for me. And then obviously like a decreased appetite. It's not like I'm not hungry during the day. It's just when I do eat, I'm eating a lot less, which I think is the whole point of it. And I'm trying to really prioritize whole foods and protein, which has gotten a lot trickier. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But those first 3 weeks, that's what I was really doing. And then when I went back for my fourth shot and saw that I had gained a pound, I was really discouraged, which is crazy because your weight is going to fluctuate even when you're losing weight. And I know that. I've witnessed it when I lost 50 pounds a year and a half ago. And it's really discouraging even when that does happen, because you're like, I'm doing everything right. I'm literally on Ozempic. Like, how did I just gain a pound? So I was having a rough time. And I think if you're watching this video, maybe you are on a weight loss journey as well, or you've experienced this in the past. So I was really discouraged that day. And my doctor was actually out of town. So there was a nurse in there who was doing the shot. And she was like, okay, you're going into week 4. Do you want to increase your dose? And I was like, sure. I mean, I gained a pound, so maybe it's not doing what it needs to be doing. So sure. So she went ahead and upped it to 0.5. If I could go back a week ago and change my mind, knowing what I know now, I would have absolutely not done that. I would have stayed at 0.25 for probably a couple more weeks, because let me tell you, that was horrible. That was so miserable. We went to visit my in-laws in northern Pennsylvania. It's like a 12-hour drive. And we left the day after my shot. So I was fine on the road trip. I was pretty nauseous, but not like I'm going to throw up. And the first day there, I was working from Pennsylvania. So I was like on my laptop for probably 5 or 6 hours. And I was so nauseous. I thought it was the heat, because my in-laws don't have air conditioning, actually. And it's the end of July, and it was really, really, really hot. So I was like, maybe I'm just nauseous because I'm not used to not having air conditioning. No. We were supposed to go out to like a family dinner that night. And I remember sitting on the deck, and I just was doing everything I could to like spend time with them and not feel crappy. And I took a Zofran, actually. My doctor gave me Zofran for if I got nauseous. So I went and took one, and still within 30 minutes, I was like, I gotta go for a walk or something, because I knew I wasn't well. So I went, they live on like this huge piece of land, and I like walked to the corner, and there's like this beautiful little creek. And I was like, all right, this is going to happen. So I threw up, and it was like aggressive, like projectile. And giving you details because if you're watching this, I want you to know what to expect. I did not expect that. So that was pretty miserable. Threw up and felt a lot better after I threw up. So I went back, and I was like, all right, maybe I can like power through and, I'll feel better. Well, I did for a couple hours, felt fine. And then everybody was showering and getting ready for dinner. It was probably like 3 o'clock. So I think the first time was like 11 a.m. Mind you, this is like 48 hours after the shot. So I was not expecting this at all. I thought if I was going to have symptoms, it would have been that day, whatever. No, absolutely not. It was pretty miserable. So I threw up again. We're getting ready for dinner. I decided like, I'm not gonna be able to go. You guys are gonna have to just go without me. So the next day we had a big family picnic, and it was really, really hot. So I just kind of chalked it up to like, okay, I'm a little nauseous still because it's hot and whatever. Well, we come home, I work I work Monday, and I had to work. It was like a long day. So I was like at my computer for, I think it was like 13 hours straight. And by the end of the day, I was nauseous, but I hadn't really eaten. And I thought because I was like reading and I was like stressed out, that maybe that's what was causing it. So I went to bed early, woke up at 4 a.m., threw up. I had like some major bowel discomfort. That's like the nicest way I could say it. Like 9 times in like a 5-hour span, if that paints you a nice picture of how my Tuesday morning went. It wasn't very good. And yeah, so that whole week, pretty much, I was miserable because it was coming in waves. I thought for sure if it was from the shot, it was going to be like the day after, maybe peaking at 48 hours. But for me, it really started 48 hours after. And even today, like it's a full 7 days later, my stomach has just not been right. But I did lose an additional 3 pounds. So I went in today, weighed in at 177, which is a full 9 pounds down from where I started. And that was ending off 4 weeks. So 1 month down 9 pounds, which is so exciting. Like it's so crazy week to week being like, oh, I only lost a pound. I only lost 2 pounds. And then at the end of the month, it's like, wow, that was 9 pounds. So that's really exciting and I'm really proud. And I can like see it in my face. I'm sure you probably can't tell off the camera, but even when I'm in like video calls for work, I'm like, wow, my face looks a little like thinner. So that's really cool. And that's where I usually lose weight first, is my face, and then my stomach, and then my arms and my legs are always last. So that's why I'm in like an oversized sweater. Starting off week 5, we went back down to 0.25. So that was the dose I was on previously. But my doctor gave me a shot today and then sent me home with the other half, essentially, of that shot to get me back to the same dose I was on last week, which kind of scares me. But we split it up. So hopefully the side effects, because I wasn't having any bad side effects at 0.25. So I'm very hopeful that I will continue to see progress the way I did this week without having the side effects. I will keep you guys posted. I might even do another video next week just to give the update on that dose. I also asked ChatGPT if that was normal, because I was like, am I dying? Like, what's going on? I was that miserable. And apparently the jump from 0.25 up to 5 milligrams, or 0.5, excuse me, 0.25 to 0.5 can be pretty rough on people. So from what I've heard, like and when I say what I've heard, I mean what ChatGPT said, is it can be pretty rough of a jump. So I'm hoping that I can go back to a somewhat normal stomach. Like I said, I still don't feel right. And I'm hoping that in 2 days from now, when it's 48 hours from this shot, that I'm not seeing any crazy symptoms. So yeah, that's the update. So today is July 30th, Wednesday. So hopefully I will do another update in like mid-August, either the 6th or the 13th. I'll do one in a week or 2, just depending on how much progress I see next week. But I'm really surprised that I've already lost 9 pounds, because I'm like, 30 is like the top of my weight loss goal. So I'm like, I'm sure it's not going to continue to be this fast. If it is, that's amazing. But I'm expecting that it's probably going to slow down just based on everything I've heard. And I just think it's normal that like the first month you see a lot more. So even if I only lose 5 pounds next month, I would say it's 100% worth it. And I'm really happy that I decided to do it. Hopefully this continues down the right path. I will say during week 4, I was not feeling like I made a good decision. I was like, I'm never taking this again. Like, I feel miserable, but it was like worth it at the same time. So yeah, that is the last 2 weeks update. I think it makes sense to do it every 2 weeks. It's really hard to get on here and say like, yeah, I lost 2 pounds this week, and there's not a whole lot to update. So I think every 2 weeks makes sense. And I'm probably going to go ahead and start posting on TikTok too, just so that I have a little bit more of a real-time like progress update for people who want to follow along. But I know there's lots of people who are sharing their GLP-1 journeys right now, and I am just happy that there's people that I can go, and it's been really helpful for me to see like what people are saying about their symptoms. So everyone's different. Everybody's body reacts differently. I think from what ChatGPT said, only 5 to 10% of people like vomit from the shot, and apparently I'm in that 5 to 10%. So lucky me. That's great. But if you do too, you're not alone. And Zofran didn't even help me the day that I was really sick. So I guess just know that 48 hours after you have a dose jump, that could happen. Don't plan on like getting married that day or going to Disneyland or anything that day, because that would be a really expensive mistake. So that is like the best advice I can offer up. If you are supposed to dose up and you have a big event that week, just like maybe wait a week to dose up, because it's not fun, I can confirm. So yeah, I don't really know if there's anything else. I did keep track of this all in my notes app, so I'm going to continue to share any side effects. I was talking to my mom about this. She's like, you need to write every single thing down as you're feeling it. And I'm so glad that she said that, because I literally have like a journal to look back on of every single thing I'm feeling, what week it was, what my dose was. And then I also just have like the simple like progress calendar to see week to week, like what my weight loss has been. I also use a scale. My husband bought it like 6 years ago. I don't know, it's from Amazon, but it has your weight tracking on it. And I like to see, you can kind of see like a trend line of it trending down. What's really crazy is you can see when I got pregnant, I hadn't weighed myself in a long time. So I weighed myself like pre-pregnancy, and then I weighed myself like right after we got home from the hospital. So like post C-section, I want to say, and like look at the graph, look at the weight line, how it like jumped. So that was like pre-pregnancy, and then it like shot up. And then you can see it's like slowly trending back down, but it has little, spikes and peaks and valleys, and like it's just all part of the journey, I guess. But yeah, so that's where we are. 177 today. And the craziest thing is the lightest I've been since having my baby is 175. So I feel like in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to hit a corner where I'm like the lowest weight I've been since pre-pregnancy, which is pretty wild. If you guys didn't watch my last video, I was sharing that I had lost 50 pounds. I gained 70, 75 with my pregnancy. A lot of that was like I was not active. I was really sick in the beginning, and the only thing I could tolerate was like carbs, and I was giving into all my cravings, and I just don't think that I went about my pregnancy in the most healthy way or in the most informed way. I wasn't thinking about all of the weight that I was putting on being an unhealthy thing. I thought I was just listening to my body. And then by the end of my pregnancy, I like just didn't recognize myself. I didn't recognize my body. I wasn't comfortable in anything. I didn't like want to go anywhere. I don't want to see me. Like it was really unhealthy for me the way I felt. So I do want to say that, like, I think pregnancy and birth and all that is just such a special time, and it's such a beautiful thing that women's bodies do. But I think every woman who's had a baby will be the first to raise their hand and say, yeah, it's still difficult, afterwards. Okay. So I think that rounds out this week's update. This is probably going to be a little bit shorter of a video just because I want to keep it short and to the point for you guys. But yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to post on TikTok and give like a little bit more of a real-time update if anybody wants to follow along. My handle is just my name, Brooke Catalone. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys have any tips and tricks, if you've been on a GLP-1, if you've had a similar experience, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. And as always, thank you so much for watching my channel, and I hope you will like and subscribe. Thank you.